The following is a production of the University of Minnesota.
Hi, my name is Josh Friell. I'm a PhD student here at the University of Minnesota in the Turfgrass Research Group. And today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about a project that I've been working on to develop salt-tolerant sod for roadsides in Minnesota. Now, some of you may remember that I talked to you about this project last year, and at that point we were out on the roadside here showing you mixtures of 9 different species of turfgrass that we had put together in different ratios to see which ratios worked the best and produced the most salt-tolerant sod that survived best on roadsides. Now, after we finished with that trial, we found that fine fescues, including slender creeping red fescue, strong creeping red fescue, and hard fescue, also small amounts of tall fescue, mixed together in different proportions, work best for survival on roadsides. This year, we're using those mixtures to try and evaluate how well they can be produced as a sod that could be harvested, transported, and installed at construction sites across Minnesota. So today I'd like to show you some of those sod plots and what some of the differences we're starting to see in those species mixtures are. So here you can see what we might consider to be an intermediate quality plot. This plot consists of some fine fescue species as well as a little bit of Kentucky bluegrass. Now, we found that Kentucky bluegrass didn't necessarily perform well in mixtures on roadsides, but it has been traditionally used to grow sod, and it holds together really well. So from a harvestability standpoint, we like to include a small amount of it just so we can be sure that the sod holds together. Now, to test how well sod holds together, this next spring we'll harvest samples from these plots and subject them to a tensile load, which means we're going to try to pull them apart. We want to measure how much force it takes to pull them apart, and when they fail, we want to look at how they failed so that we can learn about the different characteristics of these species mixtures. Now, ideally, we'd like to get to a point where we can create a sod that's harvestable and transportable that also consists of the species that we've identified as being most salt tolerant, that is, only fine fescues. So on my right here, you can see we have a mixture of species that we might consider to be poor sod quality to this point. Now, the species in this mixture are tall fescue, creeping bentgrass, Kentucky bluegrass, and a species of fine fescue. Now, you can see that they've grown together in sort of a clumpy way, and this is starting to indicate that maybe they're not going to be very harvestable as a sod. Now, on my left, you can see a plot that's made up entirely of fine fescue species, and it looks really good from a sod quality standpoint. Now, I also mentioned before that these species were found to be very salt tolerant when grown in mixtures on roadsides, and we'd like to see plots like this that consist of those species also have good sod quality. So next spring, when we come back and subject these to tensile loads, our hope is that we will find this fine fescue mix to be harvestable, transportable, and installable on roadsides.